use it. We know that in Nigeria we have that challenge, and what we are doing today and many other programs are addressing it in one way or the other. But unfortunately, usually we have disruptions, like when we had the COVID-19 and there was no movement, going to the farm, fetching food, buying things and all of that. Everything changed from what it was before. So the food system was affected. We had to stay at home. And many people did not have enough food to eat because we were not prepared. We know the kind of economy that we run here. When some people don't work in a day, then they do not have money to even feed their families. That is what is on ground. So when that disruption came, it affected many homes, it affected many women, and it affected our nutrition negatively. And that is not the only disruptions. There are many other disruptions that we face as a nation, as a people, as a community. At times it may be flooding that will affect, a household. It will affect that woman from, even when she knows what to do, she may not be able to do it because things have just changed without any plan. And so today we are looking at when such things happen, and we want to continue to ensure that the nutrition of our families are intact. We want to ensure that women are still able to feed their families well. We are looking at what can we do with women. What should we be doing with women right now, such that when disruptions like that occur, they are able to cope, either in terms of knowledge or in terms of skills or in terms of one thing or the other. This is what the panel will be discussing today, and they will be letting us in based on their wealth of experience in nutrition, in agriculture, in economy, and all that. We'll be looking at this. So, if I may start, Professor Edna, what kind of disruptions can happen, apart from the few that I've mentioned, that can affect the nutrition of households, that can make women not to be able to meet the nutritional needs of their family? Can you let us into the kind of disruptions that we can have?
Good afternoon, all. There are several kinds of disruptions that we can have. First and foremost is insecurity, which we are currently facing in some parts of the country. Once there is serious form of insecurity, it is very difficult for the farmers to get to the farm to cultivate their crops. And when that is not done, the family will suffer directly, because in the household, everybody looks up to the mother for food. Even though the father will give money for food to be prepared for the family, if the food is not on the table, they will keep looking up to the mother. So insecurity is one key factor. And another factor is climate change. You'll discover that a lot of states this year, NIMET, the meteorological center in Nigeria, had informed everybody well ahead of time that there'll be so much rain and then there'll be floods in some states of the Federation. That we have witnessed, especially in states around, the south states. And when this happens, it wipes away the farmlands, and the families are being displaced. The first thing that will happen is that we will have IDP camps now, even in the southern part of the country, which was not obtainable before. And food will be swept away from the farm because of the flood. The flood will carry away all the farm products that had been cultivated. And because of that, most of the states now are experiencing scarcity of food. And the prices of food have really gone up. So those are just the two I can mention for now. And because the prices of foods have gone up, and we do not have much money in our pocket, it becomes a problem. You know that you need to eat to live, and you also have to live to also eat. But when this food is not available, it becomes a problem to the household. And the women have played a vital role in making sure that food is made available in our home. So it affects the family, the household, even the fathers too, directly when we have these problems and challenges. Thank you.
I think I will be building up on what Prof have just said. And I want to bring it under one word: the effect of climate change, the effect of insecurity today is inflation. And so every woman is faced with serious destruction of food baskets in the store. But how do we handle this particular scenario? Inflation is come to live with us as long as those situations remains. I want to suggest that it's a time for every woman to start to manage the family store food in such a balanced way, so that when the distortion comes, the family nutritions are not badly affected. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Tinuke, please add more to that. I want to just...
All right. Okay, so just to build on what my mothers have said, one thing that is very important is education. So nutrition illiteracy. Once a woman is not educated about nutrition, she doesn't even know what nutrition is all about. She doesn't know what the right vitamins and the right things to even do to food. Is one of the major things that can cause disruptions in the food system. So our mothers need to be educated on the right nutrition they need to feed themselves, the children, and the family as a whole.
Will help us to cap all this up.
Thank you very much. With due respect to all of us here and also the Harvest Plus, because actually I want to respond in Igbo language because this is happening in OWERRI.
Please put your hands together for her.
Actually, ikwu kemu n'Igbo so ka anyị mata ihe ekwuge ihe a. Ndị kemgbe kwuru n'ukwuru climate ya wụrụ si enwe otu ọkọchị ji kọcha ihe niile kọrọ n'ime ọrụ emebie. Abịa kwuo insurgency bụ ọkwa na insecurity. Otu ndị mmadụ o nwere ụmụ nwaanyị na-anaghị aga ọrụ because ndị panna ma agagharịga repue ha. O nwekwara ike ime n'ezinụlọ. The major disruption in the food system and at the household, on him chọrọ ikwu kem. Maka enwere ike suddenly anọ n'ehihie ọcha okorobịa na-arụ ọrụ na-agbalị ya agbabiri n'ike nwụọ. Chiso ụmụntakịrị. Then ma ọkwanị ọrụ ha achọ ya n'ọrụ ya ajụọ sị nwaanyị nọ n'ụlọ gịnị ka ị kwesịrị ime? Gịnị ka ị kwesịrị ime? And ọhịa ahụ anyị na-ekwu si ụmụ nwaanyị ekwela irie gị ma ụdị ihe aha mee. Maka adịghị onye shiwere mmiri ọkụ si agị shi n'elu ada. So nwaanyị ọwụla ihe a na-ekwu gba nwaanyị ọwụla kwesịrị inwere ihe ọ ga na-eme. Ị ga-enwerịrị ihe ike. Oge efele mgbe ụmụ nwaanyị ga-anọ nwoke a na-akpata na-enye ha. Ugbu a ụmụ nwaanyị ihe a na-akpọzi ụmụ nwaanyị oso dị eme aka. Ihe ọwụla aka gị nwere ike iru ga-eme ya. Ọ bụrụ isi na-eghe granọt ghewe granọt. Ya bụrụ pure water ahụ ị ga-ere ga-erewe. Maka oge ihe ga-eme ị na-ama mgbe o ji eme ya. Ihe ọzọ m chọrọ igwu na enwere ihe mpanga. Enwere ndị ego niile amakwa ihe eji ego ahụ eme. Olee ihe ị ga-ime? Ma enwe laka ụmụaka ihe kwu ewu gịnị ka ụmụaka kwesịrị iri dị ndụ? Chibụọ nwaanyị gị mafu n'isi ụtụtụ ọ ga-enye ụmụaka nri akamụ naanị n'ụtụtụ akamụ n'ehihie akamụ n'abalị. Olee ihe ị na-etinye n'ime akamụ ahụ? And ọhịa anyị kwebịa nga ihe m ji nga ihe a na-akpọ biofortified sweet potato. Gịnị ka emere ya? Because ekwosi ụmụaka nọkọta etu ihe ha na-ata ata. Ihe mere ihe awụ ụmụaka ma emeghị ya nga ahụ ugbu a. Ịbachasị ya gị kọtọ ya ntakịrị wi ya na mmiri ọkụ tọọ ya wụfu ya chisara ụmụaka atawa ya. Ihe ndị aha ihe ga-eme gị smart mode otu akwa anyị ma nga awụ gịnị otu ga-eji chee echiche baa n'ime n'azụ ụlọ gị ị nwere ngị ịkụrụ ụgụ ị nwere ngị idowere ihe gị baa n'azụ ụlọ gị akparake imekọọ ya ọnụ gị esi ezigbo nri nwatakịrị na-eri etu nwoke ma ahụghị ya ị gaghị ọwụ ma ịhụ ha anụ maọkwanụ nwoke ahụ ejighị ego ọwụ ma ịhụ ha anụ ị gaghị esi ezigbo nri ọwụ ma ịhụ ha chikin ị gaghị esi ezigbo nri ayara otu ihe aha skumbia wo otu ihe aha ihe ndị a ga-adịkwa n'ọnụ anyway but olee ihe ị ga-ime iji si ike gbalịa ịkpata ka dị ahụ ga-ere ụfọdụ were zụta azụ zụta crayfish zụta ụmụ azụ ndị anyị na-ejere n'ime ahịa ma ụtụ mpịtị ma okpokwa ma ụrụpịrị ihe ndị a na-enyekwa ọbara. So ihe anyị kwuru ewu gịnị eru mgbe ihe shiwere ike olee ihe ị ga-ime ihe gị me anyị smart mother wụrụ ihe niile anyị kwuwe mgbe na ndị otu m kwuwe nga and Chineke thank you Harvest Plus ebutere ha anyị ihe a sị gịnị olee otu gị si mee mụta ihe ị ga-eme so that ihe rawa ahụ inye ụmụaka nri ịzụ ezinụlọ gị ya rawa ahụ gịnị ka ị ga-eme and ama m sọ ọhịa eme na ndị otu m gwara gị. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Having laid out, I've spelled out those disruptions that are possible. One thing I see is that at times, most of these disruptions, they are not things that we knew will happen, you know. It will just happen. And that is why we are having this discussion today, because we need to know ahead and plan ahead. Now, I want to find out, have women in Nigeria coped so well in the face of disruptions? Have we coped well? What have we done? And if you are telling me that we have coped well, then you give us examples of what we have done that ensure that when we had COVID-19 or something, or when there is a flooding, it did not affect our nutrition. And if we are saying, no, we did not cope well, then what happened? What did we do and what should we do? Thank you. I will ask Ms. Adeyemo, please, can you let us into that? Have women in Nigeria coped so well in the face of disruptions in the food systems?
Thank you. I think Nigerian women, I will say that we cope very well in the face of the serious disruption we have had in Nigeria, though very many of us unprepared. But I've seen so many women come up with home gardening. I've seen so many women working on food preservations while all of this trouble lasted. And social media has also helped us a great deal, because during this period, I've seen postings shared by women, how you can grow onions in your house, how you can grow tuber in bags, how you can grow potato in bags, in used polythene bags. And so I see that Nigerian women actually became very proactive to address the situation, because if not, I'm sure the fair would have been worse than what we saw. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Prof, let's hear from you.
Have we coped so well? Prof.
Whether we have coped so well or not, we have no option as women, because we are the backbone of our various families. Our duty is for us to be able to, provide food, make it available for the children, especially the children, and even your husband, by extension. We have coped because the women are always prepared. We are prepared for any challenges in life, and we know that it will come anytime it wants to come.
So it's good we clap for women. Nigerian women have tried, but of course, there's always room for improvement. Yes, many have tried. There are still a few that have not try, and we need to ensure that we get this across to them, strengthen them so that they also will, try well. Yes, we are saying that women cope so well in the face of disruptions. Our two panel members have said yes, in a way, but that there are still rooms for improvement. I am now saying, can you enlighten us a bit more on those that we should expect from women when there are disruptions?
Thank you very much. Ụmụ nwanyị ihe ọ nọ na-ajụ m sị, enwere ihe dị anyị ga-imekwu nye aka maka ụmụ anyị na mgbe ihe ike mere. Madam oche ndị a bịara na enwere oche karịrị akarị, gaa were na oche nọ n'azụ. So the women really coped well, but okay, women coped well, but at their own expense, unfortunately. Ụmụ nwanyị na-agbalị, but the problem ụmụ nwanyị nwere wụ ha nye na ụmụaka nri, nye di ha nri, ha vụrụ ọ na-agagharị. But onye na-azụ nwa na-azụkwa onwe ya. Onye na-azụ nwa na-eme gịnị? Na-azụkwa onwe ya. Because ihe ji na-ekwu ihe ewu, ọ mgbe ị hụrụ ike ka ị ga-eme ihe ị kwesịrị ime n'ụlọ. So ihe nkwu ewu, ihe niile anyị na-ekwu, unu na-agbalị. Ụmụ nwanyị are really coping well, but it is at their expense. They don't bother to take care of themselves. They are ready to go hungry. That is why most of the women, you see them, they are looking hungry 24 hours, even when the family is looking healthy. So I would suggest someone, mgbe na-azụ ndị ọzọ, zụkwa onwe gị. Ịzụ onwe gị ga-enwe ike iji azụ ndị ọzọ. So that ọwụ emetụ ntakịrị ike agwụ gị. Ihe ekwu okwu micronutrients. Most women in our here are anemic. Most of them are anemic. And that is why ha rụtụ ntakịrị ike agwụ ha. Ụmụ nwanyị ndị ọzọ si ike nwunne di ya nọ n'ebe ọ nọ, ike agwụgbuole gị. Nne di gị kọga gị ọnụ, enwere ike mgbe ahụ anụ na azụ ihe niile dị. Ugbu a ihe ndị a dị ọnụ. So ụmụ agbọghọbịa, unu na-enye ndị ọzọ, na-enye ụmụaka, na-enye di gị, nyekwa onwe gị. Because how much chokwara gị ka ị dị ndụ? If you are in trouble, the family is finished. Thank you very much.
Okay, so on the last note, Ms. Atnukelebele, can you help us to digress into what government and private sector should be doing? What do you think these individuals should be doing to solve the remaining problem that we have in terms of food disruptions and women's capacity building?
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to make it a two-way thing. So I think for nutrition to be very, very thing that people should be able to adopt is both the work of the government and the work of we individuals. Even more lies in our hands. As much as we're trying our best to see how food can be available and nutritious from the private sector for people that are in food processing, people in homes too, there are other things that you can also do personally. You can plant your own garden. You can, there are a lot of, if you want to eat, you just go to your garden and plug what you need to cook. And not government, I think there should be a lot of orientation, a lot of support to women on how they can make nutrition very strong. Women need to be strengthened. Women need to be empowered. There's people that are in the food system space. Either they have processing centers where they process their food, or their little businesses, they need to be strengthened. And also from the private sector, we that are already into food system, that are already into food processing, we should also give ourselves to research on how the best way we can also make our food more nutritious. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good one.
Once again, I want to talk about food diversification. Most of us are very concerned about a particular food, we don't want to divert to each other nutritious food. Now that you have seen a lot of nutritious food that have been introduced to you, you have to go back and reintroduce this to your families. Like the vitamin A cassava, the vitamin A maize, and the orange flesh sweet potato. Even the orange flesh sweet potato, the leaves could also be used as ogu, the vegetable that we normally eat. In place of ogu, you can use the orange flesh sweet potato leaves because it has some proteins in it. And you also make tapioca. Don't lack that tapioca in the house. Abacha. With the vitamin A cassava. Like I told you, even the orange flesh sweet potato, you can chew it raw. Or you can just boil it a little. You can use it in place of carrots in your salad. That is what I'm talking about in terms of food diversification. And you can make soup with the potato leaves. And then the vitamin A cassava, you can process it into fufu, or akpu, or gari, or you also process your maize into flour form, or the akamu, or ugi. So if you do that food diversification, it will also reduce the cost of feeding in the house. And these things are readily available within the confines of our families. And it is here in our state. That's one of the things that Harvest Plus have come to share with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our panel members. Madam Adeyemo, we are very grateful. Prof, thank you, Madam, and my sister here. Thank you all for coming. We have trashed this. If you have questions, you can meet us anywhere throughout today, and we'll be glad to answer your questions.
All right, put your hands together for them.